Hello everybody. In this lesson I will discuss patterns with a constant ratio and I will teach you how to find the next term in the sequence and I will show you how to find the formula for the general term of the sequence or pattern. When we multiply with a number to get to the next term, that number is called the constant or common ratio and the symbol is R. Now here in grade 9 we refer to that number as the constant ratio and later in grade 12 they refer to it as the common ratio. To find the general formula or formula for the nth term, there's a formula and it is Tn is equal to A times R to the power n minus 1. Now the variables means the following. A, the first term in the sequence. R, the constant ratio. N, the term number. And then the formula to work out R, the constant ratio, is term 2 divided by term 1. Given the sequence 1, 10, 100, give R the constant ratio of the sequence. Now let's start. T1 is 1, T2 is 10, T3 is 100. So to work out the constant ratio, the formula is R is term 2 divided by term 1. Term 2's value is 10, term 1's value is 1. Therefore, the constant ratio is 10. Give the next three terms in the sequence. So now we're going to multiply by R to get to the next term, and R is 10. So the next term is 1,000. To get to the next term, we multiply by the constant ratio, 10,000. To get to the next term, we multiply by the constant ratio, 100,000. Determine a formula for the general rule for any term in this sequence. So the little formula, Tn is equal to A times R to the n minus 1. A is the first term, that is 1. R, we calculated, was 10. So in R's place, in its own little bracket, we substitute 10 to the power n minus 1. And that is where you stop. That is the formula for the general term for this sequence. Given the sequence 16, 8, 4, 2, give R the constant ratio of the sequence. Now we know that 16 is term 1 and 8 is term 2. So the formula for the constant ratio R is term 2 divided by term 1. So it's 8 divided by 16, and then we say 8 goes in itself once, 8 goes into 16 twice. Therefore, the constant ratio R is equal to a half. Give the next three terms in the sequence. Now there's your sequence, 16, 8, 4, 2. Now to get to the next term, we multiply by a half. And then your next term will be 1, since that 2 and that 2 will cancel. To get to the next term, we multiply by a half. And 1 times a half is a half. And to get to the next term, we multiply by a half. And a half times a half is a quarter. Determine a formula for the general rule for any term in the sequence. The formula Tn is equal to A times R to the n minus 1. A is the first term in the sequence, which is 16. R we calculated was a half. So therefore the general formula is Tn is equal to bracket 16 bracket half to the n minus 1. And then this is where you stop. You cannot say 2 goes in itself once, 2 goes into 16. That is mathematically incorrect because the half is bound to the power n minus 1. So for the general sequence, that is where you stop. Give the value of the 10th term in the sequence. So n is equal to 10. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for Tn, the value. So into the formula, Tn is equal to 16 half to the n minus 1. Now, in n's place, we can substitute 10, and 10 minus 1 is 9. And now you can work this one out with your calculator, where you can slot into your calculator a half to the power of 9 times 16, and the answer is 1 over 32. So what does that mean? That means the 10th term's value will be 1 over 32. Given the sequence 7, negative 21, 63, negative 189, give R the constant ratio of the sequence. R's formula, term 2 divided by term 1. So 7 is term 1 and negative 21 is term 2. Therefore, negative 21 divided by 7 is equal to negative 3. So the constant ratio is negative 3. Give the next term in the sequence. There's our sequence. Now to get to the next term, we multiply by the constant ratio. So we multiply by negative 3, and then a minus times a minus is a plus 567. Determine a formula for the general rule for any term in the sequence. So the formula Tn is equal to A times R to the n minus 1. A is the first term, which is a 7, and then R we calculated the constant ratio is negative 3. Therefore, the general formula will be Tn is equal to 7 bracket negative 3 to the n minus 1. And this is where you stop. You may not say 7 times minus 3. You stop there. In the next video, I will discuss different types of sequences. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next lesson.